finally did it, so we're gonna talk about it. A nice little surprise. I guess you'd call it a little surprise episode at the end of the year here. I finally went back out and did stand-up comedy again. I documented my three previous attempts at this in past episodes too. I did not write those down. I'm sorry, but they're in there. But the thing is the previous three episodes where I talked about this shit, it was as far as how the episodes are titled, they're titled, with a baseball something at the beginning and, open mic or stand-up comedy number 1, 2, and 3, something like that is what they're titled, at least, if you want to go look for those. But this one, at least in title, is just covering these two episodes these two experiences on stage, just to get it down, just to document it, just to talk about it, because again, it's one of the more interesting, in quotes, thing that I'm doing at the moment. And as far as, shit to talk about that's going on, I mean, it's reasonable. We'll talk about it. My podcast. I get to do what I want. We will talk about baseball, though. It's just not in the title. We'll get to some baseball shit. It is a baseball podcast at its core, but by baseball podcast, I mean there is a guarantee that during the episode sometime baseball will be mentioned. That is how this is a baseball podcast. So I've always been very upfront about that. So, this is what it is what it is. So. So anyway, I finally stopped being a bitch and I went back on stage to do stand up. I had last done it in February of this year, 2024. I did it at the Heavy Anchor in St. Louis. It did not go well. Pretty much my first three attempts at this in St. Louis, I got so few laughs. I mean, it was three straight bombs, easily. So, I finally, after being here for 6 months and about 10 months since doing this at all, I went to the Fourth Wall Comedy Cafe in Hollywood, and I wrote, some stupid jokes. I talked shit about kangaroos. And it went way better than it should have. It was wild. And everybody seemed, I mean, maybe part of it was just that everybody there seemed to know each other and I was new, and so, they're excited to see what the fuck I'm gonna say, and I'm talking shit about kangaroos. I mean, but still, it went so shockingly well. There was no reality in my head that I would have expected it to go that well, just because of my previous three bombings. I mean, Jesus, I was just not good at all. And my overall cadence and style, or whatever the hell you want to call it, it was definitely different this fourth time on stage. And everybody there was so damn nice. I mean, everybody, the good thing about me doing this so far, I'm sure I will run into assholes, but everybody I've met is cool as fuck. I mean, every other comic I've met and, people there, everybody's so cool. Even the times that I did god awful, people were really nice and cool to talk to, and it's always made it even more worth doing this shit. So it was great. Everybody at that open mic was great. It was like a brainstorm open mic where, you kind of go up there. Some people were working on certain jokes and, getting feedback, and certain people were trying new stuff, and all my stuff was new stuff, but I did have it all like kind of written out, and I stuck to the script and stuck with how I would have seen it performed in my head and all that stuff. So yeah, then that's just at least right now, that's just how I do it, and I just sped through all my jokes, and it was about 5 minutes, and, again, people responded in a way that I was not expecting at all. People were so nice, and they were just, I just a lot of nice things were said. I mean, I was just so taken aback to have that experience. And, really just the first instance in my life where I'm like, "Oh, okay, holy shit, there's one instance, even if I'm shit every time after this, I was able to do it once. I can say I had a good 5 minutes once. 5 minutes on stage where the laughter felt continuous, and I felt in a pocket that I've never felt ever before. It was just and I couldn't, like, get off that feeling for, it took until, like, the next afternoon for me to truly stop thinking about that and only that. So, and again, everybody there was incredible. I talked to pretty much everybody there afterwards, and everybody was cool as fuck to talk to, and there's a lot of other funny comics there too, and, it was just a great time. It was fantastic. And I put off doing this for so long, and then I go and do it, and to have that kind of experience, you can't be any more thankful than that. So again, I've always made the guarantee that I'll talk about my stand-up shit on here. In episode 67, I said that one of my goals for next year is I'm gonna be on stage 30 times. I will be on stage 30 times, and that is a guarantee, because 'cause that'll give me a certain guaranteed sample size for me to decide if this shit is worth doing past that point, you know? And based off that feeling from that time, that 4th time that I just had, I see it in the future for sure. And I mean, watch me go, oh, for the next 30. I mean, who the hell knows? There's still so much progress I need to make. But I mean, again, that was crazy. It was an amazing fucking feeling, and I'm very happy to uh, be able to kind of put it down here in this podcast. And I really do enjoy this thing. So, if you are listening, and if you listen consistently, especially, I really do appreciate it. Anybody who tells me that they've listened to any episode of this, I'm always like surprised. I'm always like, oh shit, like it's real. Some people. And it's a lot of friends and family, especially. So I obviously appreciate them even more, because I know they've all got better shit to do too. So, yeah, I'll talk about stand up set number 5 too. Let's do that real quick, and then and I went on what day was it? December 23rd. I thought I was gonna record all these episodes, before vacation. Um at the same time, but that hasn't happened. So I did my fifth open mic ever. I did it yesterday because I'm recording this one on Christmas Eve. So um I did my fifth open mic December 23rd. It was also a fourth wall comedy cafe, but this was the North Hollywood location where actually I don't think it had the cafe in the name. This was a lot smaller place, and everybody there was cool as fuck too. I actually The host went up and did, about 10 minutes or something, and he was pretty fucking funny. Everybody there was funny as fuck. It was a bunch of dudes. It was a bunch of dudes. I think at every other open mic I've been to so far, there's been at least a couple women, but no, it was all dudes this time. But everybody was cool as fuck. We were just bullshitting, and everybody had some fun, stupid shit to say, and we had a good time. There was lots of good laughs. It was a lot smaller of a room too. Very different over there at the North Hollywood location. It was a little darker. The lights were bright as fuck, but the host went up, did his time, and then the guy who was supposed to go second wasn't there, and so I got to be I guess I wasn't the opener. I guess the host was the opener, but I got to come up. I got to come up first after the host, and I did pretty much the same set. I did pretty much the same set, and it was not that same feeling for sure, but I was still getting laughs in most of the places where I wanted, but I also got more of an idea of how I need to write some things better anyway, so that it has a little bit more punch, and yeah, I need to improve some things there for sure. So I kinda learned that from this show. So far I've opened up with my hatred of kangaroos both times, and it's done well, and it's my favorite way to start a fucking show, and if I could just do 5 minutes about kangaroos, I would. I absolutely would, but I do fucking hate kangaroos, I mean, for real. But yeah, both times I started with kangaroos and that seemed to work well, and I hate them, and people are like, I think people are getting behind it, which is good because they're not that cool. So everybody was cool as fuck at the one yesterday too. I threw in I tried to talk some shit about Subway. It wasn't that great. But outside of that, it was pretty much the same set. I fucked up a couple things and I again, it was a good open mic. It was really good. Everybody there was cool. There's some very funny people at that one too. And it was great. It was fantastic and I was able to accomplish my goal of 2 open mics before the end of the year. That puts me at 5 total. I'm guaranteed 30 next year. I have to do it. So I'll be on stage at least 30 times next year. And I'm again, yeah, this was very fun to talk about. And if you're listening this far, I really do appreciate it. Thank you very much. I'm very excited for the future to see where this stand-up shit goes. I could be terrible. Again, I could go 0 for 30. I don't have control of anything. There's no guarantees, but I did get that first feeling of, okay, there's proof that I'm not shit at this. At least once I wasn't terrible, and that was crazy. So, absolutely worth talking about. I hope you're having a damn good new year. I know I will be too, and I'm very excited for 2025. As far as baseball, there's so much to look forward to. Who knows if the Cardinals are terrible? They probably will be, but it's okay. I'm more prepared for it this time. It'll hurt less. A lot of players going to different places. The New York Mets actually might have a chance. I believe in them super hard. They better bring Grimace back as a celebrity guest for life because he's earned it. He's got his own purple seat in the fucking stadium, too. They can't get rid of that. They have to keep that. What else? What else? What else? Juan Soto got paid a lot of money. I already talked about that. Pete Alonso has yet to be signed. He needs to he deserves a 5+ year contract. I mean, he's big as shit. He's gonna keep hitting home runs. I know that power goes away with age, but this dude is a different beast. I think he's like only 30 or something. And I saw that teams are scared to give him a long-term deal, but I don't think that's a good way to think. I think the big polar bear has earned it, and hopefully if the Mets get him back, oh my god. If the Mets can sign him too, that'd be fantastic. If he goes to the Yankees, that's gonna be real fucking weird. But you can't be surprised by anything nowadays. I'm gonna wrap it up. I mean, we're past the mark. I'm not gonna stay too long here. Yeah, if you're listening, thank you very much. I hope you had a great Christmas, a great New Year, a great holiday. If you don't celebrate years or Jesus, that's cool. And yeah, there'll be a lot more of this podcast and keep going with the stand-up shit. And if you're listening, thank you very much. I'll let you know how it fucking goes.